Friends, it happened again. G2 versus Team Secret. The big rematch we've been waiting for. And who wins? We're going to talk about that today on our latest episode of Lock In, your weekly recap show for everything R6 Esports and around its orbit with your host, me, Milosh. This week is all about playoffs. And of course, it's all on the road to the Munich Major. Small reminder, there's only a few tickets left for the major, so maybe you want to get off Discord and TeamSpeak or whatever it may be and actually meet all the friends that you play with in person in Munich. Beautiful city, and maybe we'll all be saying hello to one another in this wonderful event. So remember to go to r6esports.com, get your tickets directly on our official website and get all the details, of course, on our playoffs brackets and what's been happening all over the world in R6 Esports. Major qualifiers happening in APL, but it is on LAN, in person, 8 of the best teams in the entire region. Well, I have my own predictions. As always, maybe I'll be right, maybe I'll be wrong. I want you to let me know who you think will be making it through to the Munich Major. It might just be cut and dry. Damwon Kia, right? Brazilians in Korea, I think these guys have more than what it takes to make it through. Weibo Gaming with their performance in Asia, incredibly impressive. How does it translate on LAN? All that to find out. On top of that, Chiefs, you have to have that OS representation. And last but not least, CAG. You remember what they did at Reload, being the first ever APAC team in an international grand final in Rainbow Six history. And I want to see that repeated. I want them to win it all, if anything, because who doesn't love a bit of CAG action? If anything, Anitun flexing his muscles all throughout the event. That's what I live for. Team Falcons are going to move through the bracket and qualify to the Munich Major. Cool. Well, what you did not predict, my friend, Timmy, whoever you are on the other side of the screen, is that Team Secret would go on to defeat Team Falcons themselves. An incredible performance put on. The entire team working together to defeat the Falcons and really made them look like pigeons at some point. The way they played that bank, masterclass. So from Team Secret and Team Falcons that qualify to the Munich Major, it still leaves us with 2 more empty slots. Who will represent EML? In my opinion, a big dark horse has been BDS. They barely squeezed through into the playoffs bracket, but the way that they all pull together and somehow the mental blocks have completely disappeared, it's been incredibly impressive. And I will put a lot of that on their coach Liliun for Invitational 2024 because, my God, the way that she's able to cut through the noise during the tactical timeouts, played it perfectly and pulled the team through to their spot. On the other side, there's always the question of Gen G G2, who makes it out? One of them has to. I think BDS G2 actually qualifying to the Munich Major alongside Secret and Falcons would not be surprising, right? But when you play in the playoffs and best of threes, it's a whole different ball game, and I think BDS somehow have the opportunity to take that away from everybody else in that lower bracket. You just want to hear opinions at this point. Honestly, NIP, Furia, they're looking incredible. Would I be surprised if both of them qualify? Absolutely not. NIP, Furia, I think they will be the first 2 teams to make it out. You might say, oh, Milosh, but there's FaZe and Liquid that are playing. There's Lost and W7M. It doesn't matter. Let's just be clear. Team Liquid are going to be slapped around by FaZe, and then FaZe is going to go try to play NIP, and just like what's been happening, I know FaZe played okay, but they've been falling in front of big teams. And I think online, NIP in a best of 3 can absolutely do it. And I think they have more than what it takes to qualify to Munich. Looking at how M80 and OXG have competed in Stage 2, the fire that's been lit under them through the summer going into the stage, I don't think you can beat them. I don't think anybody can from all 4 teams that are competing to try to qualify, and I think those will be the 2 that'll actually be the first 2 to come out of NAL to go to Munich. Who else will be? I think it's going to come down to how teams perform in the opening day or 2 here of the NAL playoffs. And look, if I'm going to be honest, Dark Zero fans, you're going the way of the dodo. Because your team, I don't think they're going to make it to Munich. It's a tough ride, tough sell. You play Shopify Rebellion and then OXG. Looking at how Stage 2 went, really how Stage 1 went, Got a lot of questions that I need answering, and I did not hear anything being spoken throughout the stage, barely squeaking through. This is not a BDS story that's being repeated in NAL. I do not see that. Space Station, on the other hand, I think opportunity is there. They might have the easier part of the bracket, but survival of the fittest is the name of the game here in the playoffs, and I think it's going to be a tough sell, at least for me, to bring Dark Zero over the edge and onto the plane to Germany. In EML, it's Gen G versus G2. Can G2 keep it up? Can Gen G flip the script on their opponents and finally come back and make it to their second ever LAN event? We'll have to see. In SAL, it's El Clasico. It's FaZe versus Team Liquid, both quite wounded from the stage. There's a lot on the line, not just egos between these two, because they would be one win away from making it to Munich. In the NAL, it's got to be said, OXG versus Shopify Rebellion. It's been a long time coming in Stage 2, and I cannot wait to see it. And of course, in APL on LAN, it's CAG versus Enterprise. Enterprise considered to be some of the best that OS can produce, and CAG the best from Japan, butting heads for a spot to go further into the elimination bracket. Oh boy. Cannot wait for that. Regardless, if you're a CG Esports fan, you're eating good this week. It's clear, it's easy. You got playoffs for NAL, playoffs for EML, playoffs for SAL, playoffs for APL. I sound like a broken record. Do I need to sell it any harder than this? You got Siege on the hour, every hour, all day, every day. Make sure you're tuning in to all of it to see playstyles from all over the world just before they clash, all together under one roof in Munich, Germany. Those are my predictions for the teams that would make it through, at least advancing in the first side of our playoffs bracket. What are your predictions? Put them down below and no editing comments. I got my eyes on you, Timmy. I know what's going on. Plus, I will put myself on the line. If you predict better than I do, I owe you a hug on LAN. There you go. So thank you very much for watching yet another episode of Lock in, your weekly recap show for CG Esports and everything around its orbit. We'll see you on the next one. And remember to catch every second of the action, the playoffs all around the world over the next few days. We'll see you on the next one.